I want to ask you first about how you found out about this opportunity and how excited were you to be a part of it?
I was bowled over. I heard they were doing Kong while we were filming another legendary picture, World of Warcraft. They were like, so we're going to do Kong. And I got a little jealous. I was like, really?
Right.
Who's going to be in that then?
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was, that dream come true moment, you know what I mean? So I like pulled out all the heavy guns because my my audition material was physical, to say the least, you know what I mean? And when you do auditions, it's not like you got guns and gack and all this stuff and you can run all over and there's water splash and there's none of that, you know? So I come up with the bright idea to invite Jordan Boy Roberts, our director, to the premiere of Straight Outta Compton. And that ended up being my...
Smart.
that ended up being my audition.
Well, let's talk about the characters you play. Who are Chapman and Mills?
Chapman, speaking of Chapman is he's a major in the army, and we got to meet some vets. And first thing I asked him, I was like, well, what's a helicopter pilot? He was like, a helicopter pilot is someone who can fly shit you can't. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, here we go.
And then he spoke about his life. I explained my character, and he said, I was actually married, but I didn't let anyone in my team know that I'd been divorced. I was divorced from the woman. I was still writing her like my sweetheart. And it was such a great little piece to have, to give. I was like, wow, I can't believe I've been given that little nugget of gold, to use for Chapman.
Yeah. Mills, he is a sky devil, obviously, who takes orders from Major Jack Chapman here and Colonel Packard. But I'm really not so happy about going to Skull Island. I just survived the Vietnam War. Can a brother get a break? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get some good sleep in my own bed. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the journey that I'm on.
Speaking of helicopters, what was it like to be in one?
Woo. They taught us to fly them. They took us to Hawaii and said, okay, so who are the pilots? And we got taken, and they took us up, and then they said, okay, so you're going to fly. And the challenge I had was to come in and hover, which is not landing and not taking off. It's that in-between place.
Right.
And I was like, that's easy. And when he was doing it, he's holding his pitch, and he's got his pedals, but he had one finger. He said, you should be able to hover like this. You should just be able to place one finger on top of the stick and just let the whole thing hover. He said, so you fight it, you'll never win. It's not a game of tic-tac-toe. It's not a game of chess. You have to just let it, you'll feel it.
My hover test was kind of, you know what I mean? Because I was I was a little wobbly. I was a little wobbly on my hover test. But for the most part, it was one of the most beautiful experiences that I ever had. Like, when are you going to fly a Huey? You know what I mean? You may fly a helicopter, but you're not going to fly a tank in the sky, And that's basically what we got to learn to do, which was incredible.
How would you explain the relationship your characters have with the commanding officer, with Packard? And following up on that, of course, what was it like to play opposite one of the greatest?
For me, it was a dream come true. I'd been told many times, never meet your heroes. That's the thing you get told. But meeting Sam Jackson and working with him dispelled that. That became a myth to me. It's not true at all. Sam's a hero. He's more of a hero to me now. He treated me like a colleague. Not that this should be alien. Like, he did. It's like he's a colleague of yours when you're working in a film with him. But he has the greatest stories and the best jokes.
Right. He definitely does. And he has so many leadership qualities that he kind of spills right over onto camera. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like Colonel Packard already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the guy who's like, I'm not hanging with y'all. Yeah, y'all gonna do what I want to do. We're gonna go eat dinner, and then y'all gonna expel yourselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he's that kind of person, and he has that kind of, that aura about him. You know what I mean? That's very big, and he's so cool about it. You know what I mean? He gets it.
Yeah.
And that spills onto the roles, because your characters look up to him, and even though he's asking the impossible from them, they follow him.
Right.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Exactly.
And the nice thing about this group of actors we were working with, each one of them kind of has a leadership element. They're kind of, when you spend time with them, you're like, these guys are leaders. And so the leader is the one who can get the leaders to follow him, right? So
right.
That's the deal. They're in charge of their own helicopters. They're their own pilots. They're their own people. and Packard can just group you, but Sam can do that too. He just goes, hey, and we all...
Right.
And how is it to act and react opposite these huge, whether it's Kong or other monsters?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It's always fascinating. It's always a search in yourself. You got to figure out how you're gonna do your death, how you're gonna figure the awe. But thankfully we were in a beautiful locations that were easy to be awe-inspired and easy to be wide-eyed and mesmerized.
Yeah, I just kept small things in mind. You know what I mean? Like, if I do die, can I at least get buried? You know what I mean? Don't like fling me across the, you know, like I don't want to get eaten. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go out with a bang like that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to die of natural causes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they had so many little small things. You know what I mean? But we had a band of brothers, really. You know, we grouped together and made this camaraderie that was, you know, that allowed us all to be comfortable around each other, you know? So when you got to toggle through your feelings and there's nothing there, you know, you don't feel like a complete joke, you know what I mean?
I'm sure Jordan must have been very important. I mean, but that is a young, talented filmmaker here.
Yes.
Directing quite a big production. What can you say about him?
Jordan had a vision. You know, the glass they were using, the lenses they were using was unstamped. It was so new. So right from the beginning when they were speaking with Panavision and everybody about the way they wanted to shoot this, they had to develop a new lens. They had to create new pieces. So I think we were working with a young director whose talent got to shine because he was making a passion project.
Right.
He wasn't just a gun for hire, you know. He really said, this is what I want to do, and I want to do it in this element. And he got lucky with a studio that were willing to give him the reins for that.
Yeah, and you know, it's important as a director, you know, to have people skills and be able to, you know, work with people, but with such a huge ensemble cast, you know what I mean, with so much more experience, you know what I mean, on their end. Like, I don't know how much directing experience they have, you know, but he came from Kings of Summer to being the king of summer, you know what I mean? Like, it's about to be one of the biggest movies of our time, you know, and I think he knocked it out of the box, you know what I mean? Because for him to be able to think so visually and still be able to direct both the upcoming, the now, and the veterans he deserves a hats off. Yeah, definitely.